Chancelier, Mr. Chancellor, it is my honor to present to you Miss Kim Thuy. Mrs. Kim Thuy is the Governor General's award-winning author and ambassador of the refugee experience. Ms. Thuy came to Canada at the age of 10 as a Vietnamese boat person, a refugee fleeing a post-Vietnam War country under perilous circumstances. As an author, Mrs. Thuy has become a voice of the refugee experience and a catalyst for reflection on Canadian values. The journey to a safer home and the promise of renewal that a fresh start brings. Her debut novel, Rue, tells the story of a young woman who is forced to leave her country during the Vietnam War. Rue, which means lullaby in Vietnamese, was a runaway bestseller in Quebec, Sweden, and France. Her sophomore publication, À Toi, debuted in 2011 and consists of a series of letter exchange with fellow writer Pascal Janoviak. 2 years later, Mrs. Thuy novella Man appeared on bookshelves. Her most recent novel is called Vie, published by Libre Expression in 2016. En moins d'une décennie, Madame Thuy s'est illustrée dans la société québécoise pour devenir l'une des voix les plus prééminentes de la province, voix qui exprime l'expérience des immigrants au Canada. Qui plus est, les écrits de Madame Thuy lui ont valu de nombreuses distinctions prestigieuses et la reconnaissance internationale. En 2010, par exemple, Roux s'est vu décerner le prix du gouverneur général dans la catégorie Romans et nouvelles de langue française et le prix du grand public du Salon du Livre de Montréal. The book also won CBC's Canada Reads Competition in 2015 and was a finalist for both the Scotiabank Giller Prize and the Man Asian Literary Prize in 2012. That same year, Mrs. Thuy accompanied Canada's Governor General and Concordia Honorary Doctorate recipient Davin Johnson to Malaysia as an official member of the Canadian delegation. It was her first time revisiting Malaysia since having stayed at a refugee camp there as a child. En 2016, Madame Thuy a été nommée porte-parole des éditions Le Robert au Québec pour le Petit Robert, dictionnaire français de renommée internationale, et est entrée dans le Petit Robert illustré 2018, ce qui est un grand accomplissement. Vous pouvez l'applaudir. Les écrits et le discours médiatique de Madame Thuy nous appellent à penser aux valeurs canadiennes, à nos responsabilités internationales et aux répercussions de nos décisions actuelles sur les générations à venir. Mr. Chancellor, Monsieur le Chancelier, on behalf of Senate and the Board of Governors, it is my privilege and honor to present to you Mrs. Kim Thuy so that you may confer upon her the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa.
I would like to ask Dr. Thuy to address the convocation. Thank you.
Chers dignitaires, chers diplômés, je suis née très chanceuse, actually extremely lucky. Since I was a very, very weak child with all kinds of allergies and fears, my parents had very low expectations for me. And I totally understand. What could they expect from a girl who cried every time that someone said hello to her? And above all, what to expect from a daughter without any hair on her head up to age 3. So this allowed me to not have any expectations for myself as well. So I was never discouraged by the fact that it took me 3 times longer to learn my lessons in comparison with my cousin who was in the same class. I was just happy that my effort allowed me to catch up or to follow. Maybe this is also the reason why I was not destabilized by my first exposure to an English-speaking environment. My mom sent me to an Anglophone cadets garrison just next to our house for some free English lessons. So my superior was a 16, 17-year-old boy showing off his muscles, full of testosterone, to a bunch of 12, 13-year-old cadets. I did not understand any of the things that he was saying to us from the top of his lungs. I only remembered the one word he kept repeating to my neighbor, a big boy. I thought it was the name of that boy, so I went up to him the following week by saying, "Hello, asshole." Well, it's like Peter. As well, I did not feel any shame for failing my creative writing class in university, where my professor gave me 0 for knowledge in French and 0 for participation. He was very courageous to give me the truth. So somehow, I continued to go to class as if I did not understand his message. 0 was not clear enough of a sign for me. I still saw some ambiguity. And, or maybe, I just saw a lot of room for progress. With the help of some incredible friends, I graduated at the same time than everybody else. This being said, I think the university gave me the diploma to kick me out of the department since I was shaming them with my lack of qualifications. And then by chance, I got accepted at law school without hoping to become a lawyer. I did not know articling was mandatory, so I fell asleep at one of the 9 interviews that I had, so they didn't call me back, that one. And I thought that they were just summer jobs. I did not know that I got hired by Stagman Elliott, which is one of the top 3 Canadian law firms here. Since I'm much less of a lawyer than my colleagues, I thought nobody would hire me after a 3-year maternity leave. So I created a job for myself by opening up a restaurant. But I did not know how to cook. So I only offered 1 dish a day. The customers told me they liked the concept, but I let them know that it was due to the fact that I could not offer more, and it was a handicap, not a concept. And then the writing came accidentally. It was meant to be a way to keep me awake at red lights, where I often fell asleep and had a couple of accidents. 10 years later, my words now exist in languages I cannot read, in countries I did not know existed. And this journey has been possible because of small steps, but mostly small gestures. From a ride to school by my dad because I missed the alarm in the morning, or my mom's voice behind my ear helping me with my homework. From a laugh with my brothers as we played a game of Risk, to my husband's pair of hands wrapping my sore and frozen feet after a particularly hard day. Or from a night of debating with a friend to a phone call from a mentor, from the suggestion of a book by a teacher to the hugs of my sons. These small gestures have pushed me forward. They have not only made my life better, but much greater than myself. But most importantly, they have taught me to keep my hands open, always ready to make small gestures because they count. This being said, you might think that we are here to celebrate your effort through the past years, surviving all-nighters, pulling through stressful exam hours. Well, we do. We do applaud your strength and determination, but mostly, I would like to remind you that we rely on you. We count on the big ideas you have. We look forward to the realization of the big projects you do to make all of our lives better. However, as you dream big and bigger, please do not forget the small gestures along the way, and every day, if possible, because they matter. Alors, félicitations, bonne suite et bonne chance.
Dr. Thuy, I want to thank you for your inspiration, your small gestures, and your big energy. Thank you so much.